Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish.
This is
The Petri dish, the Petri dish, the Petri dish. This is the Petri dish. There's something growing in here, and this time it's plants. I'm doing some plant growing for everyone there at home. I have germinated some seeds in a little paper towel with some water. I made a little shell out of it, and now I have planted them. After the taproot has taken hold, I have put them in to some soil, finally. That's what's growing. I got mushrooms, I got other plants, and now shit's gonna be fucking dank. There's a dog who sorely wants my attention. He is very sad all the time. I think that's why we get along so well, right, Frodo? Yeah? You little sad dog? You want to howl for everybody at home? You want to howl for the podcasters? Let's do a howl take. Come on. Frodo, right here. All right, ready? Oh! Oh! Come on. Oh! Oh! Hell yeah. So that's what the dog sounds like howling. All right, good boy. Good boy, go lay down. He fucking went as hard as he could to go lay down. He was real excited about it. That's the one thing that I like about this dog is he's real excitable. And he listens like half the time, which is pretty good for a small dog. My favorite thing, though, is you can tell him to do anything after you get done howling, because he's like all ready for like that pack energy. And so like if I tell him to just like go play or something, he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to go do that. And then he just fucks off for a while. Eventually, he's going to remember that I'm talking in another room without him, and he'll walk over here, and you'll hear his little claws scrumpling around. But, you know, dogs are cool. What's not as cool is fucking cats, man. I don't remember if I went through the whole saga of the cats, but I had Cat, who was the stray cat, running around the area, and I took her in. And then shortly afterwards, Alicia moved in, and she also has a cat named Butters. He's the indoor cat. Cat is the outside cat. And they are not friends. They don't get along. They have had a sordid past of fighting and things. And it's mostly instigated by Butters because he is a fucking asshole. Like, you know how indoor cats are just fucking, like, they just need they're pretty much Republicans. Indoor cats are always trying to pretend they don't need you. They need you more than everyone else, and then they shit in a box and expect you to clean it. Like, that's the three things, like, that's what fucking indoor cats are. And so, this fucking cat, he just fucking whines every morning, like beginning sometimes at like 5:30 in the morning. He'll just start whining because he either wants out of my bedroom or he wants in if we locked him out. Like, he just doesn't know where he wants to be. And most of the time he's whining to get fed because I keep him on a strict feeding schedule because he is a fat piece of shit. He will eat all his food. He will go down and eat all Frodo's food. He will bust into Kat's area and eat all her food. He sometimes tries to knock over the gallon bucket of food we have in the hopes it'll bust open and his fat little ass can eat himself to death. So he is an indoor cat. Cat is... she's a fucking outdoor cat. Like, one time I saw her sharpening her claws on the stones outside, and then shortly thereafter, by a couple days or so, there was another cat that tried to challenge her for supremacy of the front lawn, and she fucked that dude up. Like, fur still in the mouth. She just fucking held her own. And this fucking Butters, this dumb little prissy indoor boy, just because he's got like 5 pounds on Cat, which is a lot for cats, he thinks he can pick a fight with her and it will go well for him. Like, that's crazy. Butters gets into fights with a dog who does not know what between playing and fighting. So he's just like, I guess I give up. You're a cat. I don't know what the difference is. And so, of course, Butters has won every fight he's ever been in with a scared indoor dog who's got mad chihuahua energy who barks at any noise that resembles knocking. He is not ready for the fucking smoke that's gonna come from a cat who has probably killed, like, recently. There's been a gray outdoor cat that used to also try to fuck around in this neighborhood that I have not seen recently. And I don't doubt that's because Cat went out in the nighttime and said, "You fucked with the wrong house," and just bit his neck. You know? So, like, this is the long way around of saying it's so difficult to try to keep Butters from fucking with Cat. But she also likes to be indoors, and she knows this was her domain before his. So, like, she gives him every warning. She fucking hisses at him, she'll growl at him, she'll swipe at him. And he doesn't get the fucking hint. He doesn't want to leave her alone. And I'm just afraid one of these days, he's going to push it too far and just end up with a neck full of air. You know, like just nothing there anymore. Because she will efficiently murder him. She's not about playing with her food, you know? She eats all the food I give her. She doesn't ask for more. She doesn't leave any more, you know? It's like she'll eat whatever I give her, and also she doesn't need my fucking food. She'll be out there for fucking days doing whatever outdoor cats fucking do, and then she'll come to me when she just wants to be warm and hang out, you know? And do you know how difficult it is to explain to not only any cat in a language they don't understand, but to explain to like a really dumb cat how much he'll get fucking murdered? It's impossible to tell him. Like, other than just letting it happen, I don't know what else to do. Because Butters, for some reason, thinks he has the upper hand just because Cat has run away, knowing she doesn't want to kill the cat that she has seen us pet. You know, like, she knows it's going to end bad for him. He's too fucking dumb. He's just too fucking dumb. And it's fucking stressful because I want Cat to know that, you know, this is her house too and she can still be around. And she does. She comes around. She loves it. And I don't know how to explain to Butters that he'll fucking die if he keeps pushing it. But he's stupid as fuck. He's stupid and he's fat and everyone hates him except for nobody hates him because he's a very sweet little boy. But that's the thing, is I don't know how to explain to him that he's not like tough. You know, like I feel like if I call him tough, he'll like straighten his little bow tie and be like, "My mommy says I'm tough." And they're like, "Fuck off, Butters." Butters, I don't know where you are. You're a cat that is fucking dumb. So have fun with that. That's the cat update. Chicken update. They're hanging out. The chickens are out there being chickens, doing their stuff. Yeah, that's about it on the animals. That's welcome to the Animal Ranch. Hope you enjoyed that brief segment about it. So, I've been trying to do more things for myself. You know, I've in the mornings, Spotify makes a daily wellness playlist, which is actually kind of nice. Except for the songs are like the same 5 songs every day, but just like in a rotation. Like it's here it goes again by OK Go, When You Were Young by the Killers, and then just indie folk plays because they think that's like all relaxing and inspiring. What's uninspiring is the same fucking songs in a very similar order. You know what? No. I take that back. They're never in a similar order. They're always jumbled around. It's like one song that's always the same, one song that's in the playlist of things that are the same but isn't there every day, and then a new but very similar tasting song. But it'll always be so painfully close that it's hard to tell if time is passing or if I'm just going crazy. It's hard to tell. If it was the same thing every day, that would appease that part of my brain that's just like, yes, we have a routine. But because it's slightly different versions of the same exact thing, it really hammers home the Groundhog Day feel. But other than that, the Spotify daily wellness playlist that they make, if you go into like home and then go to the playlist made for you, it's usually in there with like your daily mixes and your release radar. But yeah, it's really nice for the little free meditation parts they do or mindfulness exercises they have. And so I'm trying to get back into that because I lost the ability to just like take a breath and calm the fuck down. And now that I'm back on the Adderall, I'm trying to create more areas of my brain that I can soothe and or hide in, you know? It was like a month and a half that I was off of the medication because somebody fucked up. Like, I don't even know anymore whose fault it was. At the end of the day, it's my fault for not just calling my doctor and being like, hey, shit's bad. Because I had an appointment with her at the end of December, and she was like, I see you haven't gotten any of the prescriptions filled for the last 3 months. What's going on there? I was like, oh, they just kept telling me they didn't have it. Like the shittiest drug dealer that you're trying to shake down for the thing they owe you. And they're like, I don't know. I don't got it. You got to talk to your other dude. They just kept telling me they didn't have the prescription on file for my medication. And my doctor was straight up like, yo, I see it here. 1, 2, like October, November, December, all 3 are right here in the database, ready to go. Confirmed, sent. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And she just looked at me because she knows that I have like a tendency that if a thing has some resistance to just like inaction immediately. She looked at me and she was like, hey, eye contact through the Zoom right now. If this ever happens again, call me immediately. I will figure it out. And I was like, fuck, that's the kind of doctor I need in my corner, you know, because it's really hard to advocate for yourself. It just is, especially in the mental health realm when, like, one morning you're like, hey, I think I've got everything figured out for myself forever. Bye, mental health world. And then you just fuck off for all of 2020. They'll bring you back down to earth and then take care of you while you're on that earth. It's pretty nice. So, yeah, good work, Doc. Thanks for putting me back on a regiment of things that are acceptable, of trying to regulate my brain stuff. Speaking of, boy, is my medicated brain trying to run well, being put to the test. My functioning brain is being put to the fucking test right now because I just got off work like 30 minutes ago, and it is a little bit past 8 o'clock here. And so, like, yeah, it's just like as soon as I feel slightly better again, that's when work is like, good. Perfect timing. Hope you wanted to be on this laptop for 12 hours in your living room, unable to separate from any parts of your life. And I just said, yeah. I just nodded my head at that laptop. I tipped an invisible hat to it, and I buried my face in the keyboard. And I just had to go over fucking part numbers and figure numbers and S1000D coding and regulations and things and trace drawings to different parts that are then confirmed by a different number, and it was just fucking maddening for 12 hours. So, like, I needed to just not. There's still work to do, and I'm fucking not doing any more of it tonight. 12-hour days where I stop. I'm not like an overtime hourly employee or something. That's just hours of my life that I'm giving away. So, like, nah, I'll get back to it in the morning. But all that only because someone emailed us halfway through the day and was like, your shit's due now rather than at the end of the month. We were like, and then we briefly shit ourselves, had a meeting, and then had 2 days to clean up shitting ourselves. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, so, you know, shit's not the most dank, but you know it is dank. My open mic is starting up again. As of the release date of this podcast, I will just have the mic going again. I was supposed to do social media stuff and get it fucking advertised, and I didn't because one step at a time. I'm trying to do this consistently again. I'm trying to figure out social media of this year and how it's going to be affected by whatever of the thing and the stuff. And, yeah, fuck all that shit. But what else is going on? My brain's totally fucked. If you guys can't tell, I've been knee deep in using my brain today. So it's fucking fried. Like the last remnants of my brain, I know what I can talk about. Good news for you. The last remnants of my brain were spent connecting the hardware for this podcast back up to my computer. Because, one, I built a PC over the pandemic because I was like, fuck it. Let's get into PC gaming. Let's try Twitch streaming. Let's have a good machine that I can just constantly keep upgrading and swapping and doing stuff. So I don't have any more like laptops shitting the bed at the 0-hour situations. But yeah, so I have my PC and I was just starting to get it figured out with all of my all my softwares and things. I was just starting to get the PC figured out with my softwares and hardwares for music and demo making and those sorts of creative things that I'm into. And so I'm like in the middle of creating some music stuff for Sad Giants, and I'm just starting to get a hang of my interface and the way it works with the software and making sure I have all the levels right, because it's hard to explain in words, but if you heard any of my podcasts where the audio cuts out like every second and it sounds super shitty, that's what happens if you don't take the time to set up latency things with your hardware on your computer. So I'm trying to have that not happen now because that fucking cat, Butters, you know how I was talking about how he's a huge piece of shit? Well, like during the weekend, I was finally I was getting my exercise. I was finally resolving myself to the idea that, I saw a TikTok and then I looked it up a little bit more and kind of read some articles and no real journals or anything. I didn't go into actual medical research, just some articles into TikTok about how the ADD brain and certain forms of autism, kind of autism and ADD can really mirror each other closely. The ADD brain runs better with lactic acid. And for those not biologically savvy, lactic acid is what makes your muscles burn when you work out. So when you are generating movement in your muscles and your muscular structures in general, all of it, you are generating lactic acid. It's why our muscles get tired, because they are being eaten away, I guess. Things are being broken, lactic acid is being generated so that then they can get filled in with proteins and get stronger. But that lactic acid runs into our brains somehow, I think. I didn't read that hard. I've got ADD. But our brain runs better when lactic acid is present in the body, is the crux of the entire hypothesis. So if lactic acid make brain better on ADHD need lactic acid via working out. Or one of the things they said was stimming, which is the, I guess, new pop culture word, but it's kind of apparently medically used. But stimming is when, like when you're jiggling your leg because you just you got so much pent up in you, or, you're like snapping your fingers a bunch and fidgeting around. We do these things with our bodies and all this fidgeting and stuff to build that lactic acid to get our brain to work. It's why I fucking talk with my hands when the podcast is happening. I don't usually talk with my hands as much in the world, I guess. I guess I kind of do. I get animated. I'm an animated person, but that animation is because I am lactic aciding myself. It's why I did a lot better when I was fucking working out every day in 2019, I had all those moments of clarity and I was feeling better because I was wrecking myself just to get some clarity. And so now I know that that's a good thing for my brain. Not a good thing for my body if I go too hard, as we learned with the amount of times I ended up in a fucking boot over the last year. God damn. But yeah, so lactic acid make brain work better. Why is all of this important? Well, me no got brain power, cause no workout, cause work. So I was setting up my hardware stuff because, here we go, all the way back around, because Butters, that piece of shit, as we said earlier, busted my USB interface that I've had since the beginning of the podcast. I actually bought that little Focusrite Scarlett Duo to start what was post-nuclear Reno and is now the Petri dish. But I remember going to, I don't think I had it way back in the day, but going to John Porter's little apartment way back in the day, and just setting up, trying to record that pilot episode that I think you can scroll back a few dozens of episodes, and I posted it as a little I didn't record a podcast, have a special thing episode, where it was the original pilot episode of what was post-nuclear Reno, which was supposed to be, in its concept, it was supposed to be part interviews with real people and then comedically put into an apocalyptic setting and then also interviewing like weird characters. Kind of like they would do with Comedy Bang Bang. You know, you have a person that you're actually trying to interview, but then a weird character is also there and everyone just pretends it's normal. That was the entire crux of it. But after a while, that fell apart because, hey, just like today, sometimes you don't got a guest or an idea and you just have to put out an episode. So after a while, it just ended up being me talking with either Nick or Austin or Sam or Alex back when he was around. You know, it was just like me and one other comic just talking about shit. And so that's when I was like, okay, there's far too many of these episodes to deny. So, yeah, Butters busted that shit. And I tried to fix it. I have a little anti-static mat now so I can do my computery things. And then, there's a big old bent piece of metal inside where the USB connects to the board, the little circuit board in there. And that was unfortunate. Didn't get it put back together. Oh, sorry I'm breathing so heavy. I'm not doing good. I think I mentioned last episode I gained 70 pounds over the last year. And I've been trying to do more exercising. My lungs are slowly getting better. And actually, post-COVID, like, they're definitely not what they were before. I definitely have some sort of residual wheeze going on because of the virus, which is undank, let's say. So, yeah, I don't like COVID, guys, and I also don't like dying. Oh God, sorry, I'm yawning on my own podcast. Hope it's not as boring for you as it apparently is to me. I'm already fucking done. I have more things I can say, and you know, now is the venue to say them, so I might as well. I guess I should have just gone and done stand-up tonight. I might have been able to make it late, but I decided not to because I knew I was going to be working forever. I wanted to talk about the assault on the Capitol from terroristic forces for their insurrection and or coup attempt, whatever they wanted. Mostly just like I'm all for committing federal crimes. You know, like do whatever the fuck you want. Honestly, if you're not hurting anyone else, fucking do it. But it is when you are planning on hurting other people, like if you want to kidnap some people or shoot some people or beat them with a fire extinguisher to death. You know, like it's when you do that shit that I'm like, well, don't be a dick about it. You know, like commit all the crimes you want, but I guess my main thing is like have a plan. That's what gets me is like I understand anger to the point of being stupid because I do that frequently, but it's when you are stupid for like a long time. I'm fine with people being like, whoa, that was a crazy night. I was being dumb as fuck. Or even like, I lost myself that week. I was just wrapped up in an episode and I couldn't break free and did some dumb shit. Okay. But it's like when you make like a whole month of quote unquote plans for your coup attempt and the best you can do is kill one dude and then fail at everything else. Like, yo, there was veterans in there. Like a lieutenant colonel was part of that shit. Nobody put any actual plan together. You literally tried to retake a country. And all you had was zip tie, handcuffs, and spirit? Are you fucking kidding me? Have a fucking plan if you're gonna commit federal crimes. Like, it's fucking... Here's why it's dumb. There was no resistance. There was no resistance and they still failed. Like, all there was guards. And I know... I'm pretty anti-cop. I'm not anti-guard. Because, to me... if I can escape your wrath, if I can escape you and your power-tripping wrath by just going like one block over, you're not an actual threat. Like, cops are bad because they'll chase you down and shoot you in front of your own house. A guard can just say, go away. And if you do, the day it's done. Like, your interaction's over. So, like, if your plan can't beat a guy standing in one place going, do you have guns? Don't be over here. If your plan can't get past that dude without there being bloodshed, like, what are you planning? Are you, like, that's the thing, is like, they planned on smearing shit on the walls and taking selfies at people's desks. It's not a fucking vacation to plan a coup on a whole fucking country. Are you fucking kidding me? So yeah, I guess no different than usual. Fuck Donald Trump and all of his supporters. You're as stupid as you ever was, and anyone who didn't realize that, I hate you forever. You did this. And now you can say, like, oopsie, I didn't know he was a Nazi. It's because, yeah, sure, blame it on everyone hyperbolizing everything as Nazis and your fear of the different. Fucking idiots. Yeah, so, a bunch of people died at my country's coup. You know how it goes. Every day in America, there's something new like that happening. But yeah, like, what was the crux of this? Oh yeah, I don't mind if you're going to commit federal crimes, but have a plan. Have a reason. You know why? I've committed federal crimes. I already told you about my favorite one, me taking an iceberg chunk and licking it. I told that story before, right? Big old sign saying don't touch any part, like don't go past here, don't touch any part of the glacier. Cool. Glacier chunk peeled off. I'm like, well, I'm not damaging the glacier itself. I walked past that little sign a few feet, and I took a lick of that fucking freedom. Tasted like liberty. Tasted like real freedom. Not this bullshit freedom where you're like, I don't like when black people are mean about cops. Let's fucking kill a cop, idiots. So yeah, break any federal crimes you want if you're not hurting anybody. The government's just there to tell you what to do. They're not going to pay attention about it. So, like, if the government is listening to this, this is a satirical podcast full of comedy. So, like, commit whatever crimes you want. Who gives a fuck? Just don't kill anybody and have a plan. I guess that's the problem, is a lot of criminals don't have a plan, and that's why it's a crime, you know? Like, that's why people get away with tax evasion for so long, because they have a plan and the math to back it up. And it isn't until somebody really takes a look that they're like, oh, wait. Nah, they've been stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from the government. You'd be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's a crime. Fuck. No. Just do drugs and do crime all you want. Just don't do bad shit. There's plenty of things that are illegal that aren't bad, and there's plenty of things that are legal that are fucking morally bankrupt as fuck. Like, there's a whole TikTok trend. I was just talking about this, too. There's a whole TikTok trend of, like, ooh, it's public record to see who's defaulting on their property taxes. Go buy up their taxes, and if they don't pay you back, you own their land. First of all, fuck you. Like, that's some bullshit to do to somebody. And then their excuse is like, well, banks already do it, so it's better I get something than the banks do it. No. Like, you can't go molesting children and then be like, what, pedophiles are just gonna molest some kids anyway, so I might as well fuck this one. No, you piece of shit. That's not how morals work. Just because somebody might do it eventually doesn't mean you should do it first so that you get something. That's morally wrong to actively try to steal someone's land through legal loopholes. And, like, that's another reason we have the Second Amendment. If you come over to my house and say, oh, I own this now, the county says, I'm going to fucking bury your body in my land and hope you never, ever get found. Dumb pieces of shit. Don't try to fuck with other people's livelihoods. That's all I'm saying. People that aren't doing shit, don't fuck their day up. Like, that's the only thing. That's all you can do. Just make people's days better. Don't steal from them. Don't be a dick. Don't ruin people's lives. Ruin them if they deserve it. Like if they're asking for it, like if a guy is in front of you saying, I can say the N-word, hit me, you're allowed to hit him with a twisted T right to the dome. Well, that's the thing, is like, if you ask to have something happen to you and it happens to you, I don't fucking feel bad for you. That's what all the stories are about. Fuck around and find out. 2021. Fuck around and find out. Speaking of calming things everyone loves, I've been getting into beading. Like with a D. I know I just got real violent before, and now I'm like, guys, I'm getting into beading. No, beading with a D. Like making bead jewelry, because it's a thing Alicia's into, and honestly, it's relaxing as fuck. Like, if I'm going to be sitting in front of my computer anyway, I don't want to be fucking doom scrolling on Twitter. I'd rather make a little bracelet with song lyrics. Like, that's way better. I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but it's dumb, but something comes out of it. And you know me, I'm always about action rather than inaction. So I'd rather make a dumb little piece of art than just read a bunch of bullshit about an insurrection that I'm never going to be a part of. Like, again, I'm all for federal crimes and changing the world around you. But when you fight and die just so that nothing changes, that's sad. That's sad. You're a sad person. So yeah, I've been making bead jewelry. There's not much to say about it. It's exactly what you think it is. I take a string, I put beads on the string, I tie the string. Done. Bracelet. Want to make a bunch of strings? Boom. Necklace. I made a whole Buddhist prayer bead necklace. 108 beads on that motherfucker. It's dope. I'm gonna wear it around and pray at people. What else? Oh, apparently blacksmithing is as easy as ever. I've been making my blacksmith Amazon wish list. It's private now because I don't want other people buying that shit for me. Like, I want to do it myself so I know what I'm getting into. And just, like, price it and source it other places. But, like, yeah, like, it's kind of cool to see how easy it is to do a lot of these at-home things that I used to look up on YouTube, like, at-home forges, and be like, oh, well, you can take these two kind of planners that you can buy at Lowe's, and you can fucking feed a leaf blower into it and try to get it started, like, extra hot in there, and, like, that was fun to watch. And I still have a tab in my computer of, like, all those old videos. But now you can buy, like, a little propane-powered knife forge off of Amazon for, like, less than $150. Like, I can get right into the cool shit that I want to do. And if I bought all of this shit right now, like, I could get into it for like under $500 and just start making cool shit and put it on Etsy or whatever. I'll make knives and bead jewelry. Hell yeah. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that hobbies are getting cheaper and more accessible all around. Speaking of hobbies, God, I've been looking into also like EVA foam, or like very cheap metals to blacksmith to just create like costume pieces, you know? Mostly just because now I want my own set of Mandalorian armor. And like I can buy some on Etsy that's like made out of EVH foam or 3D printed plastic that they then like straightened up a little bit. But man, I want to have a cool costume for Halloween this year. Like the one Halloween that I wasn't so fat that I couldn't do anything. All I did was I had Lauren paint blood on my face and I went as a zombie. How fucking lame is that? Not that the zombie thing was lame, but like I didn't do shit. Every other year I've been dressed as something fucking nuts. I wasted it. I wasted the only opportunity. And also, the new Halo is going to come out this year. I could get Master Chief armor. Fucking walking around in my Class 6 Mjolnir helmet. But yeah, so I've been looking at even more hobbies that I'm never going to get good at. Blacksmithing and EVH foam carving specifically for costume pieces. If you guys haven't watched The Mandalorian, fucking watch it. It's amazing. Even just as a standalone, like non-Star Wars liking person, you can get into it. It's just So well done. Jon Favreau's fucking dank. The new technology they did with the micro LED background so they didn't have to use green screen anymore. That's fucking awesome. You know, and it's taking the hint from the old westerns. All those old western things used to be painted canvases that they would do scenes in front of. It's and Mandalorian, if you didn't know already, is set as a western. It has the exact same tropes, like not even Star Warized really at all. Like it's just this is a western trope that happens to be set in Star Wars. He straight up walks into a town one time and has to strike a deal for information by helping them with a local monster. Like, that is so Western, and it's so great. He even goes and he gets the help of the Tusken Raiders, and the Tusken Raiders are enemies with the townspeople, but he knows their language, and he sets them all up. That is 100% a guy going to a town and being like, I'll help you with this problem. I can talk to the Native Americans, and they're like, those savages, but then they learn to work together, and it's fucking hilarious how closely they follow those tropes and how well it fucking works. So yeah, watch The Mandalorian. The only thing that sucks is like the entire crux of it is like Baby Yoda is going to go on to become a Jedi Padawan under Luke Skywalker. Spoiler alerts. He's going to end up, like it's going to happen. He's going to end up being one of those things. But in the newest movies, more spoiler alerts, they already go through that fucking Kylo Ren murders all those people. So, like, we spend 2 seasons caring about Baby Yoda only to just kind of get hinted at that he just gets fucking murdered a couple years later? God damn it, that made me mad. But hopefully there's a 3rd season of Mandalorian. I don't know. What else is there? Yeah, so I've been trying to look into all those fun little projects, trying to get into my audio stuff. And now that I've got the audio thing figured out, hopefully I'll be getting better at some music stuff for Sad Giants. I really need to get into my release cycle. I want to be, like releasing a song every 3 to 5 months, and just keeping the algorithm fed for music. And I've got a lot of songs ready to go. Not ready to go. Some of them, not very good. Some of them, pretty damn close. And I've actually been working with my producer, Colin, just on the front end of like songwriting and structure, because he really understands the way I'm supposed to, the way I write and how to make it better. Because anyone who followed me from the very beginning, which is just like my dad and maybe 2 other people, the song Until It's My Time, the song Love Songs, those used to be dog shit throwaways, and they turned into wonderfully great tracks. And so I'm hoping I can do that with other old Sad Giants songs and these new ideas that I have. Because if so, I believe I have about 15 songs that are not just in the maybe stage. They are like chords, full song idea from, like drums, bass, guitar, lead, maybe a little background parts. Like it's all there. It just needs some help. So I'm getting that help, and I'm doing fun things that I hope eventually you guys will get to hear. Because, Car Ballet turned out to, it's damn near 20K listens on Spotify, and I'm so happy about it. It's so dope to have that many people listening. I've known people that have been in bands for over a decade now that don't have a track with that much listens, and so I'm just like, yes, I hit something good, and I'm hoping that I don't even hope to match it. Honestly, I don't even hope to match it. I just hope to bring back at least half those people that gave me a chance the first time. And of those half people that take that listen, I hope to just gain like 10 loyal fans out of it, Because again, hundreds of new people listening, thousands of listens. I hope the percentages can work in my favor. I've been listening to a lot more musicians' podcasts because comedians, we're all the same. All us comedians there's no different styles of comedy to get into anymore. It's like, here's your absurdist, here's your satirist, here's your straight observationalist, here's your observational, what did I say? Absurdist, where it's like observational on the current events, but it's real wacky. Like there's only so many things you can say, and because of the way we've amplified all of our personalities on the internet, it's all a hodgepodge of everyone stealing from each other. So like, Comedy, I'm not as hot on anymore. I get more out of music, and comedy has always been second place. And it's hard because of how much I've cemented myself in this comedy community and how little I've cemented myself in the music community. So it's really hard to be like, comedy is not my priority. And everyone I know is like, ew, why? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm trying to way more successful as a musician than I am a comedian. They're like, what? But you're not successful at all as a comedian. And I'm like, yeah, that's why it fucking sucks. So, I don't know. Fuck things. If I can suggest anything, let's see. What am I digging right now? Finished The Mandalorian. So, I don't know if I talked about that last time. I think I only talked about Queen's Gambit. But finished that. Finished Dragon Ball Super. Started up What We Do in the Shadows, the actual TV series. Fucking hilarious, man. I've been sitting on that for a while. My sister kept telling me how good it is, and I just put it off because I didn't have the brain space. But I finally hit that wall of like, all right, I need something new. And it was perfect. Its first season is great. Highly recommend What We Do in the Shadows. If you didn't know, that was Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi were in the movie, and I believe it was created by Taika Waititi. And then it was, a really fun cult following, and then Taika Waititi did all that shit, and now he has superstar status. And so that got it's that universe that they made, which is hilarious just in its concept, is now like a TV show that's dope. Music recommends Dirty Nail. I think I talked about that last week. Foxy Shazam had an album come out last year that I completely missed. Love Foxy Shazam. Glad they're back. If you like, it's hard to explain, but they're very anthemic rock in the style of like Queen. They definitely give me that pop with an edge rock. And honestly, like, if this were a different time, I honestly believe that lead singer, Eric Nally, would be in the pantheon of performers. Stage presence is great. Vocals are weird but good. But honestly, I'd put him in the weird but good categories of some of your other great weirdos like Bowie or Prince or Michael Jackson to some extent. Those guys. So check out Foxy Shazam's album. Not all of it's gold. I'm not going to promise that all of it's gold, but like just listening to it's kind of an adventure. Also, Kid Cudi released his part 3 to that whole thing he's doing. He's an artist, and he's fun. And he's no longer working for the singles, it seems like. He's had some singles out there, but he's finally just kind of getting fucking weird with it like he actually is. So Kid Cudi's new album, also dank. I was trying to get back into music. I really fell off with music there last year for a while. And I was feeling real discouraged, but I finally brought myself back in and just kind of forced myself to sit through like 30 minutes of an album. Because I'll waste my time watching hours of dumb YouTube shit, but I won't sit through a 30-minute album. Stupid, So I finally would force myself to listen to the whole thing. I'd get to the end and go, I'm glad I did it. Let's listen again. It was dope. And so, yeah, Foxy Shazam and Kid Cudi. Those are my 2 things for today. Hope you liked that. And Spotify's daily wellness playlists. Check those out. I'll probably forget that I talked about them and talk about them even more later. But I don't know. Don't get involved. The cops and the Nazis are going to be fighting through the month. Just don't get involved. Let the 2 groups of fascists fucking fight it out. We already had our arguments with the cops, and they just said no and got backed up by all the fucking Nazis. And now all the Nazis are getting told no by the police. So there's going to be a problem. So just don't fucking go outside. And honestly, I wouldn't even call 911 for anything. Like, if you're dying, call an Uber. They'll probably be faster and cheaper anyway. There's just, it's gonna be nuts. So just batten down the hatches, make sure you keep one in the chamber, and just don't open the door for anyone but your delivery drivers, and tip well. That's all I got for you guys. Do drugs and do federal crimes. and just fucking send it. Happy 2021 again. Second week in a row. We're going to get every week this year for the fucking podcast, guys. I don't care if I have to do the entire year by myself. I like this shit that way. That way I can get all my thoughts out. Everything's organized right where it should be. So, I don't know. I think I'm just going to fucking lay down and put on something mindless. I'll probably watch more of What We Do in the Shadows, actually. All right. Okay, love you. Bye.